Welcome back. Today, let's look at vector subtraction. There are a few ways that we can do a vector subtraction. Let's take a look at the first one. This technique is quite easy, and it's a flip and add. Before we go into the detail, let's take a look at this example. So if I say that I have 10 minus 5, you know that it's 5, right? But I can also say that it's equal to 10 plus minus 5. So I'm absorbing the minus sign over here to the number 5. So I can end up with a plus sign here, and the minus sign is attached to the number. This is what we are going to do with vectors. So let's say that I have a vector A over here and a vector B over there, and I'm subtracting vector B from vector A. So I will need to absorb the minus sign to the vector B. And when I do that, what happens to the vector B is that it becomes minus B with the arrow pointing to the opposite direction of the vector B. And once I absorb the negative sign to this whole thing, I have to use the plus sign now. So what I have now is I have to add vector A to the vector minus B. And then I can use how I add vector graphically. That's what we learned before, right? So we can start with the vector A right here, and then we are attaching the tail of the minus B vector to the head of A right here. And then we are going to add this guy and that guy as a whole. We do that by drawing a vector from the tail of A to the head of B. And this is the result. So this vector is C. Vector C is equal to vector A plus minus vector B. But once I see this guy, I have this guy now, I can emit the negative sign out. So therefore, we now have what we actually want originally, which is A minus B. So this technique is quite easy. First, you have to flip the minus sign, and then you add normally as you would do with two vectors. The second technique of vector subtraction goes like this. So let's say again that we have A and we have B. We are subtracting B from A. What I would do is I will connect tail to tail, and then I will draw from the second head to the first head. So again, this is the first, because A minus B, A comes first, and this is second. So let's do this. So I'm attaching the tail of A and B together, right here. A is here, B is there. And if C is equal to A minus B, we are going to draw from the second head, which is B, to the first head, which is A. It might seem confusing, but the key is that if you use this technique, the arrow goes to the first. The arrow will be at what you start the subtraction with. I usually use this technique quite often when I do vector subtraction so that I can see it graphically. To enforce your learning, write, comment, or share what you have learned today and hashtag PhysicsLitUp. And subscribe to Physics Lit Up for the next video.